It began with just a rumor, a message, supposedly from Israel's Benjamin Netanyahu, circulated across Africa. The words were blunt: do what we say, or else. No one even knew if the message was real. But that didn't matter, because the very idea that a foreign leader could threaten an entire continent was enough to light a fire. For centuries, Africa has been treated as weak, divided, and easy to control. That day, one leader decided to prove the world wrong. In the capital city, cameras filled the room. Journalists expected a careful, polite speech. Instead, what they got was an earthquake made of words. He stepped up without notes. His voice carried not just to the reporters in front of him, but to millions watching across the globe. He wasn't just speaking as one man. He was speaking for every African who had ever been silenced, for every leader told to sell out their people, for every young dreamer who still believed in a free, united Africa. Then came the words that made history. We are no longer colonies. We are free nations. If any foreign leader thinks they can scare Africa into obedience, they are wrong. The room froze, silence, breathless. The world had never heard an African leader speak this way before. But he wasn't finished. He leaned closer to the microphone and delivered the line that would echo across continents. Let me be clear. Burkina Faso does not take orders from Israel. We don't take orders from America. We don't take orders from anyone. If you threaten one of us, you threaten all of us. Africa is not yours to command. The reaction. Explosive. Government scrambled. Social media erupted. For the first time in generations, Africa wasn't just responding. It was leading. Now, here's where the story turns explosive. Minutes after my speech ended, something unexpected began. The video didn't just spread. It erupted into a battle cry. In Mali, young people blasted clips across every screen. In Niger, farmers gathered around their phones, standing taller with pride they hadn't felt in years. In Guinea, students translated my words into their own languages. In South Africa, the speech was transformed into protest songs. But the real shock came from the top. Mali's Colonel Gobe didn't just share the video. He added his own vow of support. Guinea's president echoed him in public. And across social media, hashtags like Fay Afrique will not bow and Fay we stand with Traoré began trending worldwide. This wasn't just clicks and likes. It was a continent waking up, waiting for someone to light the fire. You might ask, why speak so boldly now? Why not handle it quietly? Because the quiet way has failed Africa for over 60 years. We wrote polite letters while our gold and oil were stolen. We sat in meetings where they spoke to us like children. We signed agreements that made foreigners rich while our people stayed poor. We stayed silent as military bases appeared on our soil without asking our people. That nice approach gave us nothing but polished lies and prettier chains. So when I heard Netanyahu's supposed warning, real or fake, I knew it was no different from every threat Africa has endured for centuries, and something inside me snapped. I refuse to be the leader who smiles while his continent is humiliated. I refuse to stand still while outsiders plot to rob us. I refuse to stay silent while anyone thinks they can intimidate 1.4 billion Africans. And here's the part making powerful people panic. This isn't happening in isolation. Across the region, nations are rising. Mali has expelled French soldiers. Niger has pushed out foreign military bases. Burkina Faso has torn up exploitative agreements. This is not just one speech. This is the start of a new era. We are no longer just scattered nations making isolated choices. We are moving as one, building something bigger, stronger, and historic. We call it the Sahel Alliance. But this is more than a military pact. It is a declaration that Africa is ready to take charge of its own destiny. When I spoke those words to Netanyahu, I wasn't speaking only as the president of Burkina Faso. I was speaking as the voice of a rising movement that is reshaping the continent. And here's what terrifies the world's powerful nations. We're only getting started. The Sahel Alliance means Africans solving African problems by Africans for African people. We share intelligence. We strengthen our own security. We make business deals that keep wealth inside Africa. Instead of bleeding it out, We're proving to the world that safety doesn't come from foreign military bases. It comes from African unity, from African strength. But let's be clear. This fight was never really about Netanyahu or Israel. It was about every superpower that still treats Africa like a private treasure chest. It was a message to America: we will not automatically stand in your wars. A message to France: your colonial days are finished. Forever. A message to China: partnership must mean equality, not dependence. And how did they react? With silence. Israel issued no denial, no statement, no protest. The West's media, they tried to bury the story. Why? Because it shatters their favorite narrative, that Africa is weak, needy, waiting for someone to manage it. They can't process African leaders who stand tall, unafraid, unapologetic. But social media belongs to no empire. And there, my words became unstoppable. Millions of young Africans shared the speech, translated it into dozens of languages, turned it into art, music, poetry. It was no longer just a speech. It became a continent-wide conversation about dignity, freedom, and the future we are building together. Here's the most extraordinary part: I never set out to be a symbol. I am just a soldier from Burkina Faso, a man who believes his people and his continent deserve respect. Every day I see messages pouring in from across the continent, from young people who say my words gave them hope, from elders who say I reminded them of the leaders who once led Africa to independence, from mothers who say they feel proud again to call themselves African. That's when I realized this is no longer about me. This is about us, about remembering who we are, about taking back who we were always meant to be. We are the descendants of pharaohs who built pyramids that still defy time. We are the heirs of the Mali Empire, so wealthy it shook the world's gold markets. We are the children of Queen Nzinga, who resisted colonizers for decades. We walk in the footsteps of Patrice Lumumba and Sankara, who chose death over betraying their people. For too long, we were told to forget this greatness, to be thankful for crumbs while outsiders stole the feast. That era is ending. Right now, the Sahel Alliance is growing. More leaders are rising. More young people are demanding change. Communities are refusing to remain poor while sitting on oceans of wealth. The fire that began with one speech is now spreading across Africa, and nothing can put it out. To world powers who still think threats can silence us, hear this clearly: your pressure no longer controls us. Your bases no longer intimidate us. Your systems no longer define us. We have learned to stand on our own. And when Africa stands together, no force on earth can stop us. My brothers and sisters, this is the most critical moment in our modern history. The choices we make today will decide whether our children inherit a free, united, wealthy Africa, or remain trapped in systems designed to keep us divided and weak. So share this message. Speak it in your homes, your schools, your communities. Support leaders who fight for African dignity, not foreign approval. Demand partnerships that put Africa first. And above all, never forget this: we belong to the greatest continent on earth. We hold resources that can change the world. We are a people whose strength and creativity have survived every storm history has thrown at us. The future is being written at this very moment. And for the first time in centuries, Africans are holding the pen. My confrontation with Netanyahu was only the beginning. What comes next will decide if Africa finally becomes truly free. But one truth is undeniable: the old Africa, the Africa that bowed, obeyed, and waited, is gone forever. A new Africa is rising, proud, united, unstoppable. And no threats, no punishments, no foreign pressure will stop what has already begun. This is our moment. This is our time. And this is just the beginning of a new Africa the world is not ready for, but one it can no longer ignore.